No. Rhodri.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at? It's your opinion. I respect your opinion. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again.
Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me, or you matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me, or you matter what. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what. Told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck, country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Like scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy Carhartt cards and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me, or you matter what. Add it up,
Yes, guys, I'm Cy. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation. This is Rhodri Giggs on football. At the moment, there is no Rhodri Giggs. He will be here shortly. He's just been delayed, but that's okay. You got me for a bit. We'll just talk some stuff. Big shout out to everyone who came down to the Cardiff City fan show last night at the Rum and Tavern. Always a good time, and we were joined by not one but two ex-City players on the show last night. We had Michael Chopra joined us in the first part of the show to discuss the 15th of December, which will be the final live event promoted by Ace Podcast Nation, hosted by Ace Podcast Nation and myself, where myself and Michael Chopra will be having a jolly good time before Christmas, taking questions, having photos, just having a good old party. We've got some wicked prizes for the charity raffle as well. And if you can't wait for that on the 15th, tomorrow night at the Rum and Tavern, City Legends number 2 with Darren Pearce, former Cardiff City captain, current under-23s manager, Mr. Darren Pearce, and myself, hosting the evening. Doors open at 7 to the 1927 lounge. You can come up, have some photos, etc., have a chat, chill out, and then when everyone's there, we'll get straight into it. We have 45 minutes of Darren telling some stories and me pulling them out with him, and then we'll have a quick comfort break before we get into a nice long question and answer, where the questions are in the hands of the people, so people can ask Darren as many questions as they want, whatever they want, and there we go. And then obviously 15th of December, Michael Chopra. I believe there's 1 or 2 tickets left for the Darren Pearce one tomorrow. If you want to get involved, then ticket links in the description of the show and on my bio and all that sort of stuff. Ticket link for Michael Chopra show is also all over the place, bio and that. Expecting them ones to go quick. There's 2 tiers of tickets. There's VIP tickets, 30 quid, and there's normal tickets for a tenner, which is just for the question and answer part. But I urge you to come down, see off the year with us, because it's been a weird year, but it's been a great second half to the year for the channel. Been growing, but reaching out into the live events and stuff like that, particularly for Cardiff City fans. But even, to be honest, even if you're just a football fan, phenomenal, like live events, really intimate. You get to speak to these players who you've kind of, been watching play for Cardiff and other clubs for the years gone by. And now, as Michael Chopra made a great point yesterday when he joined us on the fan show, is when they're playing, they're kind of, they're a bit, what's the word? Like, they have to be careful what they say, basically. But then, now they're retired, they can kind of let things loose. They can tell the stories, and it's going to be an interesting one because Michael Chopra in particular has got so many stories. Straight away, he said there's one where Bellamy hid his phone and they fell out. There's another one, obviously, with all the ranks surrounding his gambling. There's all sorts of these stories which you wouldn't get if they were still playing. So all I can say is get involved if you are in and around Cardiff at those times, those days. It's well worth it. Well worth it. While we wait for Rodders to catch up and join us, we'll do a little Super 6 update because one of our very own hardcore regular viewers, Robert Boyle, topped the week. So in the Charity Super 6 and Charity Fantasy League, starting with the Fantasy Football League, very own Patreon legend, Mr. Robert Boyle, topped the highest score this week with 64 points. But the overall leader is Rhys Edwards with a total of 836 points. Regarding the Super 6, Max Flint won the weekend round with Mr. Will Melush, my producer extraordinaire, had the highest midweek score. But let's see how myself and Rodders are doing. The Super 6 this week, I had 0 because I forgot to do it in the midweek. Rodders had 6. We are level on 140 points, neck and neck, which is always good. We seem to be very close. But I always seem to pull away towards the end of the season, quality. For the Fantasy Premier League, I've got 597 overall. Rhodri's got 653. He's got a lead of 56. The leader, we're way off the leader who's on 836 points. But in terms of myself and Rhodri, this week was the first week where I actually did something with my fantasy league team. And I scored 48 and Rhodri scored 41, which goes to show that if I put a bit of effort in, I'm better than him, basically. But there we go. So yeah, there's some stuff going on. I think I'll save like the Champions League stuff and that side of things till Rodders gets here, because I know. Oh, look at that! Beautiful angle, nice little beard there. I've got a third camera as well, but I haven't quite got it able to work. Still not working yet, but we'll get that third camera going eventually, which is going to be really handy with the fan shows and the recording of stuff. It's just multiple camera angles makes it nice. But if you've got any questions and stuff like that, get them in. If in the meantime, we'll talk. Obviously, we talked a lot of Cardiff City yesterday, but let's talk a little bit about the Championship generally. Talk a bit of football generally. Where are we going to start? Some interesting results in the Championship this week. Really interesting. So yesterday you had Blackburn beat Birmingham. Leeds annihilated Swansea, played them off the park. Sheffield Wednesday finally got some more points on the board with a great point at home to Leicester. A really, really big point for them. Maybe that's the start of them turning around. Southampton picked up a win against Bristol. Because Southampton host Cardiff City on Saturday. A big, big game. Cardiff will be looking to put on a better performance than midweek because they were, I think, lethargic is probably about as kind as you could be versus West Brom in the week. But West Brom are very, very good. They're really hit some good form, a good goal as well. And I think I was really particularly impressed with West Brom's pressing, like particularly in the second half. Like it seemed like every time a Cardiff player got on the ball, West Brom had 3-4 players straight around him. I was impressed with because with a press. The thing is, like they've all once that trigger player's gone, you've all gotta go. Like it's just one of those things. Like if one player doesn't do his role in that press, it just makes it very easy to play through. And I was impressed not just with the quality of West Brom's pressing, but also just the general. Like not once did any of them sort of half-heartedly go or shirk their role in that press. Very, very impressed by West Brom. I've got to be honest. I think the only team which I've seen this year so far who I've been more impressed with is Ipswich. Ipswich is still the best team I've seen play this year, I think. And Rotherham still the poorest. Although I didn't think Preston were up to much. Preston actually were a bit more disappointing than I was expecting because they've been, they're in a decent run of form. And I actually thought if Cardiff had been a bit more adventurous earlier, they might not have had to leave it until, the 2 goals in injury time, which is always pleasant as a fan. But back down to earth for the loss against West Brom. Just looking in the comments, Will, Borough fan, Tommy Tornado, welcome. Southampton either top or second on the form table over the last 9 games. We'll be lucky to get anything from them. Well, here's the thing, right, mate, is I think Cardiff at the moment they seem much more comfortable away from home. And I think it's partially because of the way we play, because I've been saying quite a lot recently, at home, I'd like to see Cardiff be a bit more adventurous and a bit more attacking, because the way we set up and the way we play is very good for away games. Very difficult to break down, build from the back, try and suck the other team into pressing you, play through them, and then kind of hit them. Or you try and win the ball up, win the ball back around the halfway line and be quick on the transition to get your forwards or your wingers away. And I think that works really well away from home. We've had some really good results and performances away from home. And, you know, on another day or with a bit of luck, I think Cardiff could have got points, you know, could have got points at Leicester, could have got points at Leeds, Ipswich. Like, there's a few games where Cardiff could have picked up points away from home, and they may have deserved to, but didn't quite put it off. Whereas, and obviously they've had some cracking results, including Preston away at the weekend, because Preston are in good form. So whilst I agree with you, Southampton are banging form, as were West Brom and Preston, you know, I think if we were playing them at our place, I would be more concerned about the result. I think away from home, I'm a bit more confident that maybe we can pinch a point, or, you know, I'd take a point now if you give me a point away at Southampton, absolutely. But I just think Cardiff are in a weird position, because I think they're doing better than anyone expected in terms of league position. They're playing better than anyone expected in terms of the football they're playing. Errol Buller is much more, I think he's instigated his tactics and the way he wants to play much quicker than probably people thought he was going to. And I think what's that meant is people get a bit carried away. People suddenly are like dreaming of playoffs and stuff like that. And look, I actually think Cardiff are capable of making the playoffs this year, but I think you have to be realistic. A lot of that will depend on two things: the January transfer window and what they do with it, because it's the first time they've been able to spend some money in a good while, certainly in a good few windows. But also, I think we need Aaron Ramsey back playing football sooner than later. But we have done pretty well without him. So I think by no means is Ramsey being back the be-all and end-all. But I think when you've got a player of that quality, which he'd already shown this season on numerous occasions, of course you want him back in your team and playing. And I think apart from his quality of football, he's an important member of the squad and experienced footballer. So it makes a big difference. But we discussed a little bit like some potential dream options in the window in January. You know, the players which we were talking about, I think on paper are doable, but being realistic, I'd look, for instance, Neco Williams. I would be very surprised if Neco Williams goes on loan to a Championship side, for instance. I'd be expecting him to go to a Premier League side if he goes on a short-term loan, or if he was to move away from Forest completely. Be very surprised if he drops to the Championship. If he does drop to the Championship, then Cardiff City should absolutely be one of the sides talking to him. He's Welsh. He's an extremely good footballer, and we have only got one first choice left. We've only got one left back, and the first choice that first choice left back is on his bike to the African Cup of Nations in January. So not only would Neco Williams, another left back, be a good choice anyway for Cardiff because of the lack of depth in that position, it also, you have the African Cup of Nations. So if they can work something out on loan for Neco Williams, phenomenal. I think it would involve Panzo going back, but would I sacrifice Panzo, who's not really played, for Wales' first choice left back? Absolutely, I would, because he's a quality footballer, way too good for the Championship. But you never know. You know, we've pulled off some big deals like that in the past. I mentioned Bellamy earlier. You know, Bellamy and Ramsey himself when he came on loan. So we've shown that we can get these deals. Ramsey most recently as well. We have shown that we can get those big deals done. It's just whether Nottingham Forest want to play ball. It's whether Neco Williams would like to come down here and stuff like that. The other one was Jordan James from Birmingham City. I think he's played more games for Rooney since Rooney's taken over. So I think it's going to be difficult. We probably have to give him a nice bit of bit of cash, but I don't think Birmingham are rolling in it. So if we offered them a 2 million fee with add-ons, I think they'd be tempted. And I think not just from now point of view, in terms of how I think him and 𝒕opas could be almost like a dream partnership in terms of their abilities and how they complement each other, but also for the future. He's so young and he's already shown that he's able to play at a high level. If you could get someone like that in, he could be a centre midfielder for 10 years. So, and then, of course, the worst kept secret in UK football and Welsh football, like Kiefer Moore, seems on paper like it's almost like a done deal. I'm not as confident as some of the guys on the panel last night. But look, you imagine from a Cardiff City point of view, if you brought in Kiefer Moore, Nico Williams and Jordan James in this January window, I don't think you can ask for much more of a much better window than that. And then the other name which came up to a mixed reception from the panel. I think generally we all agreed that he'd be a good signing, but there was one or maybe two of us two of the guys who said no. I said send Runnison back to Arsenal because I don't think he's very good, to be perfectly honest. So I certainly he's not playing well, and I think 𝒂i𝐭y is a better choice in goal. Is Danny Ward, who's third choice for Leicester. If you can get, so it'd be weird though to see where Cardiff signed 3-4 Welsh players, but I would not be disappointed to see 4 Welsh internationals coming down to play for the City. I think Danny Ward is good enough to be first choice. He's good enough to be back up to 𝒂i𝐭y without causing too much stress as well. So I think, look, if Cardiff somehow, look, they are long shots. You're talking a bit of money, some quite high wages, but from a hypothetical point of view, Cardiff City added those 4 players to their squad and they could get rid of a couple of fringe players. I think I'd be disappointed if they didn't get to the playoffs if they signed those 4 players. Like, I would genuinely be disappointed then if we weren't at least in the playoffs, because you're talking 4 Welsh internationals, 3 of which are first choice Welsh internationals. So yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one indeed. What do you guys think? I know there's a couple of Cardiff fans in the chat. Borough fan, like, who would you like to see? Where do Borough need to strengthen? Who would you like to see Borough go in, or what position? Like, I think it's vital that Cardiff City, Tommy Tornado says there, the AFCON is going to be a problem. I think it's vital Cardiff City get a left back, either an out-and-out left back or a left-sided defender who can play centre back and left back. I think would be an all right choice as well. But like I say, Nico Williams, to me, if there's any hints that he's available on loan, Cardiff should try and do something. Because look, Panzo's not playing, Runnison's not playing, so you could send those 2 back. Can you then get Danny Ward and then maybe a little loan deal for Nico Williams? I don't know. I'm sure the manager's got some ideas outside of that, but just from a personal point of view, those 4 to me make a lot of sense positionally, quality wise. And I think there's an added bonus. I'd always be happy to see Welsh players playing for Cardiff, particularly, young Welsh players like Nico Williams and Jordan James. I think that would be beautiful. But yeah, like, tell me what you think, guys. I'm genuinely interested. We've been linked with a couple of Turkish players, Bakasetas, and also the Turkish captain, I think it is, 𝒕opas. I think we were linked with a Greece captain as well. But 𝒕opas is a quality player. I don't think that 𝒕opas would drop down to this level, being honest. But then you say that, and then we signed Aaron Ramsey in the summer, who had a boatload of Premier League clubs after him and European clubs after him. We all but signed Gareth Bale until his agent steered him towards America. So, I mean, they've shown that they can attract and get the big deals moving. So from that side of things, he's kind of interesting. Tommy Tornado says, also, do you think it would benefit the national team, same stadium, surroundings? I don't think it would be a bad idea, mate. But I think, like, most of all, obviously, the things you mentioned, a big part of it, they're very important. And I think they will particularly with the big games coming up in March, like one-off games at home. Having those players be comfortable at the Cardiff City Stadium cannot be a bad thing. But most of all, if come March, Danny Ward, just hypothetically, if Danny Ward, Jordan James, Nico Williams, and Kiefer Moore are all playing for Cardiff City week in, week out, that's a good thing for the Welsh team. Because the big problem at the moment is we've got too many players who are just not playing enough. They're either playing 5-10 minutes here and there, or they're not playing at all. And I think you saw that with Kiefer Moore to the point where he was dropped for the second game against Turkey. In the first game, he looked sluggish and he just looked off the pace. And I think it's a problem. Borough fan says, I'd say a striker, other positions, we've got injured players to come back. Yeah, similar to Cardiff, actually. Cardiff got O'Dowd there to come back, who I think could cover left back as well, although I do prefer him at the left wing, and a few others. Who's anyone surprised you, Borough fan, from Borough this year? I mean, you got off to a rocky start this season, but and this is the reason why I say quite often, what's his head, the owner of Borough, Steve Gibson. He's phenomenal. He's one of the best owners in the Football League in terms of how he goes about business. So many teams, so many clubs would have sacked Carrick after your first sort of 8 games of the season. They'd have panicked and they would have just gone, oh, young manager, quick, get someone experienced in. They stuck by him and he's got him playing as good, if not better, than last year. And I think, again, Borough will be right up there in the playoff conversation. And it's good to see. I admire the Borough owner a lot, like the way he goes about his business, the way he runs his football club. He's very patient. He doesn't rush into decisions. He gives the managers time. And I think that's what you need if you're going to build long-term. Like at the start of the season, I say again, people ask me from what I thought the new manager could do at Cardiff. And I said, well, they're going to sack him come Christmas because we're not doing very well, then it's pointless. But if we can build, so this year, look for top half. Next year, look to be in and around the playoffs. And then the following year, be really pushing for promotion. That's progress each year. And I think that's important, is giving manager time and building his team, his players. Like, you've got to remember, 99% of managers, when they come in, they're not coming into a club which has got their players. They're not coming into a squad which has got players built for their systems. So often you see managers come in and they may have played, I don't know, like 3 at the back all their career, but then they come along and they haven't got 3 really good centre-backs. So they have to adapt their system, because you've got to adapt your system, particularly in the early stages of your managerial stay at a club. You have to adapt to what the players you've got at the club are able to do. You can't just force them into your system and tactics instantly, because you might not have the right players for that system. And it takes time. And I think when you look around, the managers who are given time are the ones who will last a bit longer and build things. You look at, just switching over to the Premier League now, there's been some pressure on Ten Hag this year. And I think he has suffered from overachieving last year. Yes, they've got a very good squad and they've spent money, but they've had like so many injuries this year and things like that. And I think because he achieved so much last year, which people didn't expect, but they've got to give him time. If they give, to me, and this is only my opinion, and I'll put this to Rhodri when he comes, is if you give Ten Hag the next 2 or 3 years, I think United will be back up competing. But if you just repeat the same cycle and they get a new manager in, I think Ancelotti was mentioned, or whoever, like someone's brought in, just starting again, and he's got to get his players in and they've got to spend more money. But I think, particularly in United's case, they need to fix the problems off the field so that then the manager can take the team on the field forward. And I just think it's important. And I think Errol Bulliu is doing a phenomenal job at Cardiff City at the moment. Tommy Tornado said, I'd like to know when the managers getting the sack so quickly started. Klopp at Liverpool feels like a lifetime these days. Fergie for 26 years. Don't think we'll ever see that again. Yeah, 100%, mate. And there's been moments, even last year, where Klopp at other clubs probably would have gone other clubs would have sacked him. He took people forget it took Klopp a good 18 months, maybe 2 years, to really get that Liverpool team playing and build his team, because the players who were there were not capable of playing the pressing system that you see Liverpool playing now. So it takes time. Like, you look at how right again, just I use United because they're in this massive transition, but like United have still got to get rid of a lot of players, and I think there's just no, like, this talk of the manager and things like that. Like, you've got to give him time, and you've got to give him, and that means another couple of years to get the players in he wants. He's still not got the players he wants, and get the players that he doesn't want out here. And we're just talking about managers and giving them time, mate. I was saying, like, the Middlesbrough owner is one of my I rate him really highly just because he always is patient with the managers. And a lot of clubs at the start of the season, when Borough hadn't won a game in 8 or 9 games, would have got rid of Michael Carrick because he was a young manager, but he stuck by him, and they're getting the benefits of that now, and they'll probably be in the playoff conversation again. We talked about Klopp. I think it took Klopp about 18 months, 2 years to really get his players, because the Liverpool players who were there when Klopp came in, they weren't capable of playing that pressing style. And they're talking about Liverpool, he's off already. But so you have to give him time to get the players he doesn't want out and get the players he needs to play his system in. And I think the same goes for Ten Hag, mate, doesn't it? Like, you've got to give managers time to get to the players that are not doing it or not capable of playing their system, and get in the players who are capable of doing it. You think?
Yeah, and also make a decision on some of the players that he's brought in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Casemiro and Rafa Varane. I don't see them staying. Get rid of them too. And there's some others that you need to get rid of.
But just in terms of, like, giving him time, mate, do you think they've got to give him time, haven't they?
Yeah. I'd give him next season as well, and then see how we lie from there. But yeah, things are looking. The last 10 days or stop before the international break, they were getting wins. It was very bad to watch, very bad. But
then I think there's been glimpses,
and this game last night, it looked much better. They were comfortable at 2-0. Silly foul, bad mistake by the free kick, compounded by the keeper. And then they rinse and repeat it at 3-1. Comfortable, another silly foul, and the keeper lets the free kick again. So it's silly mistakes, which they don't make the mistakes. I think they win that game comfortably.
Yeah.
But so it's not down to Eric Ten Hag for individual errors. Well, then people say, well, he brought the keeper and he's made this mess.
But people forget, mate.
We've made a mistake. We've seen it before with these keepers when they come in. They need to settle at least a season, and then we'll see it from there. If he keeps on making mistakes, and we have to address it. But it was one of them games last night. I'm thinking, how have we not won that game? It was one of them where you're scratching your head thinking, how have you not come away with the 3 points there? But you can't give silly mistakes at the top level of the Champions League, no matter who you're playing. So difficult to take, but hopefully the result goes our way in the last game for them, and we beat Bayern Munich at home, which is a tall ask. But all you've got to do is win your game. If you win your game, then you probably go into the Europa League. So. To be honest, if we don't even qualify for that, I won't be too disheartened.
Yeah, you're not going to be devastated to not be in the Europa League.
No.
Interesting little couple of things on Onana. So people forget, like, he just kept 5 clean sheets on the bounce before last night. He also made several big saves last night, which kept United, in the lead or in it. He made a double save, I think, in the first couple of minutes. And also, so here's a couple of stats for you, mate, right? He has got the highest percentage of saves this year in the Premier League for any keeper. So if you think like so, United are conceding more shots this year than they have for a while because they haven't had their defenders and their midfield in front of them stopping those shots. Like the keeper's not in charge of he's not in charge of stopping those shots coming in. He's in charge of keeping them out. And I think this narrative that Onana's like not a top level keeper is insane. Like his stats show, and I think the other stat was that in terms of expected goals, so XG with keepers is really accurate. It's basically how many shots they're expected to have in a game and what percentage or how many they're expected to save out from those different areas and stuff like this. And his XG is something like 8.3. So like he's saving way more than he would be expected to from a statistical point of view. But you say that the second goal is 100% on him. He basically chucks it in the net. The first goal, I blame the wall for that. Like it came through the wall, he was unsighted, and then he's gone to the left.
Well, they did go through the wall. They went for the two people who's in the wall. You don't move, mate. The wall's there to protect that side. You don't gamble. Because if you gamble, and just let me get the dog in, mate. If you gamble, let the dog. If you gamble, and the come on, and the ball goes that side, which it did, then you because it's so close, you've got no chance, and that proved to be the case. So you can't gamble. If he stays where he is, he just collects it very easily. Yeah. The
second one, he's just I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, the second one's just a shocker. Just a shocker. Don't even know what he's doing.
United have scored 11 goals away from home in the Champions League this year, and they're going to probably go out.
Three at Munich, 3 at Copenhagen, 3 at Galatasaray. Well,
insane, mate, isn't it?
And you're not getting results for these games. So, that's why it's what's the word? There's progression. You can see it. They just need to sort the defence out and sort that midfield out. Midfield's key. The midfield at the minute. Kobbie Mainoo looks a real talent, but he's only 18, 19 soon. I'd
like to see him and Amra. If I was picking it at the moment, just as it stands, if I was picking that United midfield, I would play Amrabat and Mainoo from the start, because I think Amrabat just gives him a bit of experience next to him. Scott McTominay is a bit like a headless chicken. I don't understand.
He's getting your goals at the minute and winning your games. I understand what you mean, though, because he's
in there to score goals, but he offers absolutely nothing.
Ability is not his best talent. The balls were coming into him. Yeah, he doesn't receive it much on that half turn. He's just not his game. So when we're under the caution, we need to keep the ball in possession. He's not the greatest at it, but he's been scoring a few goals. So, but I agree with you.
I also think
his own tail behind me.
I think I think United have looked straight away. They've looked better with Luke Shaw back. I think he just overall better defensively, better on the ball. Well, for whatever reason, Luke Shaw seems to really be a big part of the way they play. They just don't seem to be able to put a whole performance together in the Champions League. Like they either seem to be very good defensively or very good up front. They can't seem to put it all together in one performance for whatever reason. But for instance, Harry Maguire yesterday, I thought he was very good defensively, but I thought he was problematic when United were trying to play with the ball. He slowed it down. He nearly put Onana in trouble at one point. Like on the ball, I thought he caused United not massive issues, not issues which are going to necessarily lose you a game in a moment, but he slows the ball. Whereas if you've got like a Martinez or a Varane or someone or even Luke Shaw in there, they play through the lines really quickly. They're very decisive. They'll drop a shoulder and move away from the striker and play the ball very quickly. Whereas with Maguire, it's a bit more kind of laboured. And look, he's got a good pass in him. I wouldn't deny that. And
he's been our best defender.
And this is what and that's what I said. I thought he defended very well, but I think long term, I just don't think he can be the first choice centre
We
back.
already know that. It's done no harm for Harry Maguire. It's done no harm for Manchester United. How he's come back. Now he's sellable.
Varane out the side, mate, didn't he?
Now he's sellable. So
yeah,
and you can see that he can play at a high level for in the Premier League. We've seen that before, but he's obviously come through it now, and you've got to hand it to him because he's had a torrid 2 years, and the way he's come back, you've got to admire it really. So it's he's been a rock for us in the last 5 or 6 games.
I think the one thing you can do, well, not the one thing, but one of the things you could say about Harry Maguire without any shadow of a doubt, mate, is he's got an impressive mentality and mental strength to go through all the stuff he's been through, not just to come back through it and play at a decent level that he is now, but I think the way generally he's conducted himself. So I criticised him a few times because sometimes I think he comes across a bit arrogant in some of the things he says in interviews. But also, we know, as me and you know, only too well, mate, people can take stuff out of context. People can, if you see a snippet of something which someone says, they might give context either before or after it, but you don't get the context. You just get the, the controversial statement or whatever. Like, I've got nothing to prove. But he might have said after that or before that, everyone's got something to prove, but I don't feel like I've got anything to prove at United. Like, do you know what I mean? It's one of them, but I agree with you. They can sell him now. I think United will try and bring in a centre back in January because I think Varane, for whatever reason, I think the main reason with Varane is he can't stay fit for 20, 30 games of a season. So every time he gets into
Martinez will be back soon as well.
After Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's only around the corner. We're in December the 1st tomorrow.
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it? But I think Martinez, you got obviously Shaw's back, and I thought Wan-Bissaka defended very well on the right hand side. Obviously got an assist as well going forward, which is a big criticism of his game. It's weird, like if you're a neutral watching that, like myself, like watching that United game yesterday, it was an incredible game to watch. It was just end to end. It was like basketball. But when I was watching United very closely because I knew we were going to talk about it, and I thought that United, I thought there was way more. It's weird to say because it was such a bad result in terms of the Champions League and everything, but I actually thought there was way more positives for United than negatives in that and the Everton game. And I think over the last month, there's been loads of signs that United are just coming together.
Last night that you have to play Bruno in that number 10 spot.
He's got to stay there, though, isn't he? And I get the reason he comes away from it is because of Scott McTominay, and I don't want to put it. I'm not saying like I hate Scott McTominay, blah, 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 but he is causing a problem for the holding midfielder and for Bruno because Bruno comes to cover him because he's out of position. The holding midfielder doesn't have the option because McTominay often hides behind the player, so he doesn't want the ball really. Like, I just think if you can get Mainoo in there or Eriksen and Mainoo or Amrabat and Mainoo, I'd probably do Amrabat because I think then you might be able to let Mainoo have a bit more freedom to link up with Bruno and the wingers. Tell you what, I thought had a good game last night, which I've seen a few people saying they thought he was poor. I thought Anthony had a good game last night.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I did as well.
I thought his decision making was good. A couple of times he picked the ball up in his own half, ran 20, 30 yards, took the pressure off the team, drew out a foul, and when he did have to make a decision.
Now Rashford's available to come in on the weekend, so does he play Anthony? Does he play Rashford? I think 𝐭i𝐿
should keep his place.
Yeah, plays. I think
would you play on the right then? Who would you play on Saturday against whoever it is? I don't know who they're playing on Saturday, but Newcastle, isn't it? Would you play Rashford? Would you play Anthony?
I would play Rashford.
Interesting.
I would play Rashford because he gives you more threat. That gives you more threat of a goal, even though he's only scored 2 this season. He scored on the weekend, so maybe he can get a run going now in the Premier League. So Newcastle, there's going to be goals up there. So
yeah, I think in terms of that, again, is it away from home? Yeah, it's away at Newcastle.
So you got. I think
you've got to play. Wan-Bissaka has got to start defensively, because you're away from home. This is what I would do. I would go Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, whoever plays alongside Maguire. Sure, I'd go Amrabat and Mainoo, and then I would probably go with Rashford. I agree, but I think Anthony has got a shout to start.
Yeah,
and I would go with Garnacho to go off, on the break. I thought 𝐭i𝐭yland looked a bit tired last night, but it was his first game back after injury. So I can't believe I'm saying it, mate.
No, I wouldn't start Martial. I'd start 𝐭i𝐭yland. I wouldn't.
Couldn't even bring myself to say it.
I wouldn't start Martial.
But you know what, though, mate? Right?
Even though when he's come on, he's looked pretty lively. But they should have scored last night. They could have scored, made it 4-3.
Well, the one thing you'd bank on him doing is finishing a one-on-one, isn't it? Like that. If all the things Martial can do, you'd put your house on him finishing a one-on-one with a keeper inside the box. And he just seemed to want like a load of touches instead of just a little dink. I don't know. Weird one. Tommy Tornado says, do you follow Salford City?
Yes.
You keep an eye on their results and whatnot. How are they doing this year?
Well, when you've played for, captained, managed, and a place where you've grew up, you kind of look. Yeah.
How are they doing this year?
Not really good. Not really good. Really, about mid-table. With the budget they've got, really, is not really good enough. So I'd expect another change there soon.
Who's the manager at the moment?
Neil Wood, is it? Neil Summit. Yeah, they change him that much. Summit.
Do you know why I'm surprised has never gone or has never been linked with a move to Salford is Fergie Jr. Because obviously he tends to go to Peterborough, leave, and then go back to Peterborough, doesn't he? But I'm always surprised that he's not going
to go there. He's not going to be at full control like he does at a club. So why would he put himself in that situation?
Yeah, because he's proven decent manager at that level, that lower league level.
Just don't think it would be a good situation to be in, to be honest.
What's the relationship like? Do you know what the relationship is like?
It'd be good. They've obviously all played with him because he was at United when.
Yeah, he was in the academy, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't. Darren Ferguson wasn't in the academy. No, he come.
Was he? Oh, right, okay.
He played as a first team player. I don't think he was in the academy.
Yeah, all right, okay. I don't know why I thought he was.
No, his dad was manager. I think he just brought him there to play a bit. Yeah, he played, but yeah,
he did play for him.
It would have been like 91, 92. So they probably might not have played in. They probably played in the reserves and on the A team, the B team back then. But yeah, because they would have been around about 16, 17, the class of 92. So yeah, they would have played with him, but in reserves.
Was he any good, Fergie June, Darren? Was he any good?
It's a midfielder. When he's all right.
Trying to think who he played for. Didn't he go to Scotland or like to play for a bit?
I can't remember, mate.
I know he played loads for He played like a few hundred games for Wrexham, but
oh, that's right. Yeah, he went to Wrexham. Yeah, he ended at Wrexham.
Let's have a look. So there you are. So he played 28 times for United. For Darren Ferguson.
Yeah, it would have been around 1990, 91. 92.
Yeah, 90 to 94 he played there. Yeah, 28 times he played. Yeah. Then he done 120 appearances at Wolves. Played at Sparta, Rotterdam for 14 appearances.
Wolves, that's it. Wolves, went to Wolves. But I remember playing at Wrexham because when I was at Bangor, I remember speaking to him when we played a Wrexham game. We played a Welsh Cup game at Wrexham's ground, and he was there watching. I remember speaking to him. I can't remember if he was involved but wasn't playing, or I don't know if he's ever been manager there. I can't remember, but he was there. I remember speaking to him. That would have been Wrexham. It would have been 2000.
Yeah, he was there 99 to 2007.
Yeah, so it was early on when he was there. Yes, 2000. Yeah.
Because he left Wrexham to go and be player manager at Peterborough, basically.
Right.
But he never actually played a game for him. But he was the player manager. His managerial career is mad. 2007 to 2009, Peterborough, then to Preston for less than a year, then back to Peterborough for 4 years, then to Doncaster for 2 years, then back to Peterborough for 3 years and was still there. So he's obviously like Peterborough. There's obviously a relationship there which works in some fashion.
Done well there. He's got him a few promotions. He's had a good. Not like he's not done anything there.
No, I was going to say, haven't he been promoted like 3, 4, maybe even more
he's got promoted a few times there, so they've got a good relationship there. So yeah.
So let's have a look. League One runner-up, League One playoffs, League Two runner-up, Football League trophy. Also got 3rd place in League Two for Doncaster, and he won some trophies. Mind at Wrexham.
Yeah,
he got a Premier League winners medal. Do you know that?
Yeah. That for United.
Yeah. What year do you reckon that was from?
It would have been either 92, 93 or 93, 94.
Bang on straight away. 92, 93. Impressive that is, mate. Well done.
Yeah.
Knowledge. See, that's what you're here for. Knowledge, analysis, loving it. Top scorer that season was Teddy Sheringham, by the way, with 21 goals. Football's moved on, hasn't it? Yeah.
For Nottingham Forest.
So let's have a look. 92. Top scorer that season was Teddy Sheringham with 21 goals. Well.
Forest, that would have been.
Yeah, was it Forest?
Yeah.
Or would it? Yeah. Of course he was. He was a Forest, wasn't he? And then he went.
You're arguing with the knowledge here.
I know. I should know better, shouldn't I? He was.
Sure, he scored the first goal. No, Brian Dean scored the first goal in the Premier League goal. Oh yeah.
Forest, Tottenham, United, Tottenham, and then Portsmouth, West Ham, Colchester.
Yeah, they had the red shirts with the collars. It was like United's kit
with the lace on there. Oh, the United side,
yeah.
Nice, like it. Tommy Tornado says, "I live near Bangor." He said, "It's sad to see the demise of the club." So Bangor are not doing too well, are they?
You'd think they'd be doing better because once they moved from Farrer Road to this new place, but
that's supposed to be the game changer, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have gone that way, but yeah, it's a shame. It was a really good place to play that, right in the middle of Bangor, off Farrer Road, good old football ground. I remember turning up the first time and you take to people when you get to a club, and obviously I knew Clayton was there, but the person who I bonded with was Steve Cooper. We got on pretty well, so it was a good time.
I was going to say they've won some big games over the years. Bangor.
Oh yeah, in the Welsh Cup as well, European games.
European games and that. I'm just looking at they got some loads of European games.
I think they won the Welsh Cup the year before I got there.
What year did you go there?
It would have been 2000.
Yeah, they won in 99, 2000. So yeah. There you go. On fire with the dates today, mate. Well done. You still got the grey matter, even at your age.
Knowledge is key. Experience. Can't buy it.
Tommy Tornado, didn't Nigel Atkins play there as well?
Where?
Bangor, I would assume he means.
Oh, I was there with Juice Matt Lloyd Williams, absolute goal machine. He was scored like 50 the season we got there. Clayton Blackmore. Who else would you have known? He was there.
Yeah, he did play for Bangor, 93 to 96. Oh, he was manager. Sorry, he was player manager, 93 to 96. Nigel Atkins.
Okay.
I didn't know that. He was player manager for 3 years. That's quite unusual because player managers don't generally last.
The player who took out because Marion Appleton was the manager. Remember me coming to see me, met in a hotel in Warrington. But Peter Davenport took over for him.
Another ex-United player?
Ex-United player, Next Forest, yeah.
Interesting. Jude, who do you reckon is the most successful player manager of all time? Because I was just thinking then, they don't tend to last too long, do they? Player managers. They either retire.
Glenn Hoddle seems to come to mind. Glenn Hoddle.
Glenn Hoddle. Who else was there? Trevor Francis, player manager for a bit, wasn't he?
Rudolph, Gianfranco Vialli.
I think most of the time they end up retiring, don't they? When they take it on. And Kenny Dalglish, yeah, that's a good shout.
King Kenny. Don't get much better than him.
I was going to say, didn't 𝐿i𝐿 do player manager?
𝐿i𝐿 for Chelsea, yeah, just had him before.
What's the Cockney guy?
For Chelsea, really. Canelo did it for Chelsea. 𝒉𝒕𒕒 did it for Chelsea. 𝒉a𝐶𝒂 did it for Chelsea.
Who's that little Cockney guy?
To the Premier League.
Who's that little Cockney guy who was at Chelsea as a player, and then he was at Newcastle, like in the behind the scenes. That's it. Yeah, he was player manager for Millwall for a bit.
Yeah. We played him. We beat him at FA Cup final. Millwall. Remember they played Cardiff.
Ronaldo.
It was in Wales. That.
Yeah, that's it. I remember that. And of course, Alan.
Shot Ronaldo. Beat him like, was it 4-0 or something?
Yeah, 4-0, 4-1. The Alan 𝒘v𝒐, when he started at Charlton, was player manager as well. Way back in the 90s and that.
Nobody see it anymore, yeah.
No, I was trying to. Who's the most recent one? Toshak, of course, done it at the Jacks.
You don't really see it anymore.
Gordon Strachan. Peter Reid did it at Man City for a bit.
Yeah. I suppose our kid did it for 4 games at United when he took over United.
Oh yeah, technically he did, didn't he? Yeah. Did he play himself at all though?
No, I don't think so.
Souness did it at Rangers and King Kenny, and then on this list I've got here it says Ryan Giggs. Yeah, he was appointed player coach after Moyes left, but didn't play himself. It's got to be hard, haven't it? Like, try. Have you ever done it?
I did it at Salford City.
Okay. Did you find it hard, like when you got to play?
Well, I didn't play. I hardly played, and then that became a problem because I was one of the better players. So the chairman and the owner were saying, "Why are you not playing yourself?" So I don't really want to do both. Well, we need you. So it was a bit of a catch-22, but I was like, because I would talk to people different if I was playing than I was as a manager. As a manager, nice, calm, and you know, if I'm playing, you don't get fuck. I'd be screaming in your ear.
Yeah,
I'll be saying
your
stuff
job
that a manager really shouldn't be saying to someone. So I was, so that's why I didn't. That's the only reason why I didn't.
So, as of the last official player manager, apart like permanent, for like so apart from your brother, would have been. Let's have a look. Looks like the last one was. That can't be right, surely.
What?
Well, according to that, it says the last official player manager in the Premier League was Gianluca Vialli, but I'm sure, like obviously your brother, but I'm sure there was more recent ones than that. Maybe there wasn't. I can't remember the last time there was a player manager in sort of the Premier League or the Championship. Let's have a look. Current player managers. Is there any about? It's not common, is it? And I think actually, because football's so quick as well these days, and I don't know, maybe do you think it would be easier to do now because there's more onus on the coaches to do the stats and the analysis and all that?
Yes, as long as you get the right people in.
Yeah, you got to have coaches.
Well, you're smart as the people you bring in and the people you surround yourself with. So, yeah.
Rooney did it.
Rooney. Derby.
Yeah. I don't think he. Again, though, I don't think he played himself. You know.
It's hard. It's hard to because like it's a weird situation to be in, but obviously because it was Salford City and they're in trouble and I want to do it, I kind of neglected. But after that, I went on to play 2 years because after I left, I went on to play 2 years for FC United. So, and which was a couple of leagues higher. So, where Salford were playing. So I could, I should have played more to be honest. But
yeah, so you still had something in the tank from a playing point of view.
I was only like 30, 44. I had no injuries. I was fine. I was fine. But just like whatever, yeah.
But you didn't have any like serious injuries, did you? Like really?
No. All the injuries I picked up were playing in charity games. I never picked up injuries playing non-league football. It was always when in the summer, when I just not training, not doing anything, just ended up playing a football match. I broke my metatarsal twice. Did my medial ligaments in my knee in Ireland, Dublin. I did, and then I did snap my Achilles 2 years ago.
That's like, that just sounds so painful. It's unreal. The snapped Achilles.
Yeah.
Like being shot in the foot.
Yeah, well, you've got to have a boot on for 3 months. You've got to even wear it to bed.
That's the one you've done most recently, though, isn't it?
Yeah, pardon?
Is that the one you did last year?
Yeah, did it. I was playing it for a charity team in Wrexham. I never played for. Some guy contacted me through social media. For some reason, I said, yeah, I play. Went down, like 15 men and his dog there. And yeah, just turn around, you have to say, what are you doing? Like someone had kicked me and there's no one there.
No. Couple of questions. This is quite an interesting one. Will says, if you're a player manager from a club and the club sacks you from the managerial role, do you still carry on as a player?
That depends on the player.
I suppose it would depend on the contract, but if you've got, say, if you've got like a 3-year contract as a player and then you got appointed as caretaker manager.
Like, I'm sure because I didn't get sacked, I just walked out. Because the stuff that I'd been through over the 2 years, and then with a shitty budget, for the last 3 or 4 years they've been fighting relegation. The first year after I took over after the season, got to mid-table, and then the second season I got through mid-table again on a shitty budget. And then they're talking about in the committee meeting about should we keep the manager and blah blah blah. So that got back to me, and I kind of seen my ass with it. A couple of games left, last home game of the season, we won 3-1, and I just went, right, that's me. Shook everyone's hand and got off, and just went, right, that's me. I'm done now. I'm sure they would want to keep me on as a player, but yeah, I was done by then, and I was off to FC United.
Nice. Tommy Tornado says, what club did you have your happiest times?
Ooh. Probably Mossley, you know.
Success.
Probably Mossley, because we won leagues, yeah. But I enjoyed the season at FC United. The first time I was there. Salford was always good, but we never really won anything at Salford. But it's just good playing for your own club, wasn't it? Where you grew up.
What about, like, you know, when you used to play in like those Manchester clubs like FC United and Salford, do you get like a lot of support there, like personally as well?
Well, the FC United, when they first started, it was the second season, wasn't it? So you were getting like 3,500, 4,000 at Gig Lane.
What do they get now?
What do they get now? Probably about 1,400, 1,500.
It's kind of like when it started, it was quite hot, wasn't it? It was like,
well, that was at the start, yeah. So yeah, that was at the start, and we was flying. And I obviously the goal of the first season because I was at Mossley, and I thought it was just gonna. I wanted to see how it went, not leave somewhere and go somewhere. Then it all went to pieces halfway through the season. So then they won that. They won the second division, the North West County second division, and I won like about 3 or 4 leagues above with Mossley. So that's when I went there for yeah. I went after that, yeah.
When FC United started,
we won the cup and league double that year, and then I left because I fell out with the manager.
Which manager was that?
My mate, who I play golf with every week, manager now. We're playing FC Wimbledon on a pre-season game, and it was in London, so we're staying over at a hotel. But because it was fan-owned, they'd organise a game between the fans of FC Wimbledon and the fans of FC United, and players were going to watch. And it was like fucking June. It was fucking 100 degrees down south. It was boiling. So we've got up. I suppose we got up, gone and watched that game. And then this was finishing like at 12:30. We've got to leave there, rush, go and get our stuff, then go straight to the game without any food. So, anyways, one of the lads was starving, and I was driving for some reason. So I took a couple of lads to go and get a burger or go and get some food, and we got lost on going back to the ground. So we ended up turning up late, and he put us on the bench and blah blah blah. And anyway, we get beat, and I just fucking go off at the end of the game in the change room. So it's a fucking embarrassment. We're in the flip field watching a load of fucking retards play football. we're not drunk, we're not eating, it's boiling hot, and you expect us to run about on the football pitch against professional footballers. You're stupid.
Yeah,
and
with no food.
And just went off on one. And it was right what I was saying. It wasn't what it was. What was I just didn't go about it the right way. And yeah, if he would have spoke to me, I'm sure we could have sorted it out and I could have apologised. But he obviously got rid of me. And, yeah, so
yeah.
That was
Do you still hear me, mate?
Spurs and Ashton in the same league, and we were first and second all season. We played them at FC United ground, scored against them, but we got beat. It was 3-2 or 4-3. But I scored to make 2-2 in front of the MRE. Funny. But yeah, just stayed there one season. And I can't remember where it go. I think it's going back to Salford. It's good on my camera.
Oh, it's gone off. I can still hear you. It's, I don't know what I was doing. But we can wrap up now, mate. Anyway, that like FC United obviously formed in 2005. Like that seems so.
2006.
It just seems like really recent. Like time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like when they first formed, when FC United first formed, they had a couple of names join them, didn't they? I can't think of who off the top of my head now, but like I'm sure didn't they get like a few players who like people would have known, you know, like dropping down and stuff to play for them?
No.
Did they? I'm sure they did.
No.
But it was quite like a pop. Like when they first formed, they had a bit of
think about it was 𝐿eon, but not many people know 𝐿eon.
Yeah.
Because but from Manchester, if you're not unless you're from Manchester, because he played for Aberdeen, obviously played for Manchester, grew up for Manchester City, and then went to play for Aberdeen. But he was at Mosley with me, and he's gone to FC United.
It was quite like a big thing, wasn't it? Like when they first formed FC United.
Oh yeah,
you know, they had like a bit of backing.
So many people there. It was like 4,000 or 5,000 every home game, and it just it was good times actually. Good times, good crack. You get involved with the crowd and you get involved with the fans. It was good. Everyone knew each other because it was the same people every week. So you could have a drink with the fans after the game in the bar and stuff like that. So you get stuck in with the fans. It was good. It was like back in the old days, the fans would say, it was great. It's like back being in the old times. But it was like 2006, nearly 20 years ago.
Yeah. Do you think it's lost a bit of steam now, or do they? You know, they still get.
No, not really. They built their own ground, mate. So you know, I was lucky enough to work there when it first opened. The first year it opened, I was academy manager, reserve team manager. So I did that for like 3 years. When it first opened, was it 2 years, 2 or 3 years, and then that probably still to this day had the best FA Youth Cup run. I think we got to the third round after playing like 5 or 6 games, or 4 or 5 or 6 games. It was mad.
Did they are like all the managers and that paid for that level, or is it all kind of?
Well, now this manager's on probably a good wage because it's full time. He's on a full time, so even though not training full time, he probably gets involved with the academy and stuff like that. Because back when I was doing it, we probably had about 30 kids. I think they have like double that now. So
what do they have? Like just a youth team, or?
Well, it's just academy, mate. Just to have academy games. So we was going for like quality. I think now they're going for quantity because they need the money. So they do 𝒉𝒕𝒃 with it, so they get funded and stuff.
Yeah. So what will they have? Will they have like all the age groups, or like all the way down to like
16, 17 to 8, just the 2 years, 16 to 18. Then 2 years, you leave school, 16 to 17, 17 to 18.
Do they do the same? Is that the same with like Salford as well? Then they'll have like a youth team.
Yeah, probably Salford will do it as well. Stockport County, Macclesfield.
There's loads of clubs up that way.
In fact, all local clubs that they'll play each other. Gateshead, they're in the league. Just trying to think who else we played. Some other Leeds sides as well. Well, Bradford. Not Bradford, but Halifax. There was a team down in Leeds. I can't remember what they're called, but. Yeah, but you play. It's the same deal. The they're doing BTEC courses, but training and playing football every day.
Yeah.
And FC United's obviously built their own ground. The fans have built it. It's got a 3G pitch right next to it. Big car park.
Good facilities.
It's a nice little ground in Moston. It is, and obviously the fans have built it. I think it cost about £6 million. So.
How many times they've been promoted then since their inception?
Well, at the end now, they've probably been promoted about 7 or 8 times.
Nice.
Or 6 or 7 times. They got promoted. North West Counties 2, North West Counties 1. Yeah, so they've been they've probably been promoted about 5-6 times in their history.
Pretty good going, isn't it?
In history of 18 years. Yeah, there's always going to be that stop, mate, because they're never going to be. They're fan owned. They don't want big mercenaries come in. They don't pay big wages, so they play a certain way. So it's always going to be difficult because obviously Manchester's a good catchment area and there's some teams to pay. It's a big dough around here, so.
Yeah. Right, let's do our predictions, mate, really, really quickly. I didn't realise the time, mate. I was so...
I can't believe I missed the FPL and Super
But unfortunately, my camera's not working, so we can't go over it again. And I don't want to repeat myself to the people either. But I will tell you that I beat you in the fantasy football this week, which is like the first week I tried and I beat you is kind of talks like the last few seasons, doesn't it?
What, you're only 45 behind now. Let's have a look.
Well, yeah, but I've only started trying this week, isn't it?
Yeah, you only started trying. All right, yeah. Let's see where you are. Right, 𝒙 is on 597. Oh, you beat me by 7 points. Come on. And
still beat you. It's still mad. Right, 1 point.
I was rudely interrupted. 𝒙 is on 597 and myself is on 653. So only 56 behind.
Yeah, it's 1 week, mate, isn't it? 1 week.
Yeah,
easy.
And I've just changed my tide and I've got a few weapons and most of my team are at home this week. So big dollars coming. 1
week of me beating you and you panicked and you just binned off your team is what you're saying.
No, you can only make 1 sub, mate. What are you on about? Subs
well, injured. you know that now. You didn't know that at the start of the season, though, did you? When you binned off all your team and lost loads of points.
Yeah, I mean, I did all last year. I did that, so I was making 5 or 6 subs every week. So I'm losing 30 points before I even started. So I realised it when I did the same on the first game of the season. I'm going, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then when I looked into it more, you get docked 5 points or 4 points or whatever it is.
Yeah, still makes me chuckle, man, that you've done that. It's just like, what are you gonna do?
Mate, what's going on here? Why are you going like 500-600 points behind us? Like weird.
Right, I'm going to let's do these predictions quick because I did not realise how late it had got.
Missing out.
Right. Arsenal home to Wolves. I've gone 3-1 to Arsenal.
2-0 Arsenal.
Brentford at home to Luton. I've gone 2-0 to Brentford. 1-0 to Brentford, actually.
3-1 Brentford.
Forest versus Everton at Forest. 2-1 to Everton for me.
1-1.
And then Newcastle at home to United. It's going to be an interesting one. I think it's
not one against United. I went against them last week and I lost me. I'm not one against them again. 3-1 United.
It's going to be a high-scoring game, I think. I'm going to go with
4-2 United.
You bastard. I just got in there just as I was about to say it. I'm going to go 3-2 United. West Ham at home to Palace. 1-0 West Ham. 1-0 to the Hammers.
West Ham. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. 1-0. We'll go with that,
yeah. Man City versus Spurs at Man City. 2-0 City. Actually, no, 2-1.
3-0 City. 3-1. 3-1.
There we go. Right, that's our predictions for the Super Six. Make sure you get your predictions in if you're in the league. And if you're not in the league, join the league. Never too late. Get involved. Raise a bit of money for charity. Hit up Will L𝐞g𝐿. He's in the live chat now.
Anyone watching who's got any decent cameras, sign it's free because they're all struggling.
Yeah, I got a couple now. I've located a couple of additional ones.
What? So what you're saying? One from the side, one from the front. What was the other one from?
So I got a normal, like just a webcam which I plug in. I got a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema which I acquired recently, which is my new podcasting camera, and then I just got a couple of like small camcorders. So I'll use the Blackmagic for like the wide shot, and then the camcorders for the, the individual shots. But it's going to make it a lot easier when I do podcasts and that. And I've got a nice little Blackmagic A10 Mini to switch the camera angle with a touch of a button. Coming into the technological world, mate. I'm moving on up. I filmed a podcast yesterday in the pub, though, in the day. That was quite cool. Going to call it podcast and a pint, but just like sat in the pub with the all the cameras and that, and just having a chat. So when you come down, mate, I think we should do one of them because it's quite a good little concept. Like just just sat down, relax.
I'm down.
No, mate, we'll sort something out and then we'll go up the Rummer Tavern, go upstairs, set the cameras up, and away we go, mate.
Yeah,
be good. Got to hit Nathan Blake up, man. Got to hit him up. Right. As always, mate, a pleasure. Nice of you to finally join us this evening.
Something cropped up last minute,
no,
pal.
I know, mate. It's all right. I'm only teasing you.
Very rare, but
No, I know.
I'm in a man in a wanted man. Of
course you are, mate. Of course you are. Someone's got to have you, haven't he?
And it's Friday tomorrow. 3 weeks till Christmas. 3 weeks till I'm off for 16 days. Stroll on December 22.
And if you're coming to the Rum and Tavern tomorrow night, I will see you there.
The Rum and Tavern.
Darren Pearce evening tomorrow. Can't wait.
Where's that?
Rum and Tavern. No, it's opposite the castle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
One of the oldest pubs in Cardiff. Beautiful.
Nice.
Beautiful. And then we got Michael Chopra there, mates, on the 15th of December. Final one of the year.
Nice.
He's going to have plenty to talk about, so it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a belter, but right. Nice one, mate. In a bit, motherfucker.